man's only a man so long as he's living it. And when he's living it, he's going fast. Fast and family fast. That's the code. A man's gotta have a code. And mine's keep your family fast and your enemies faster. It's all about family. A man's gotta have a code. Covered in Pennzoil. Give him 4 strokes and he shoots. American muscle. You or your family disagree, then I'll kick your ass. I'll kick your fucking ass. I'll call my dad, or I'll get your dad to call my dad, and they'll set up a date, and my dad will kick your dad. Watch your back!
I live my life a quarter ounce at a time. Nothing else matters. Not the dishes, not the bar, not the customers, not their bullshit. For those 10 seconds or less, I'm free. Lights, Camera, Jackson. How about that one? Welcome to my Patreon page, everybody. Thank you, first of all, for taking the time to watch this. Now you might be saying, before we get started,
Whoa, Jackson. Don't your bosses run like one of the most successful Patreon pages like ever? Largely because of your leadership at Super Mega Production.
well, yeah, they do. My boss also drives a Bugatti, but that doesn't mean that Jackson's driving a Bugatti. And before you get on your little tangent about how trickle-down economics work and all that horse shit. When I started Drink Up with Jackson and when I started streaming, they were just kind of fun little side projects that I enjoyed doing because they're a passion for me. But now that I have been exposed to the beautiful world of money, it's no longer fun for me, and I've decided to cash in while I can. You might be saying, Jackson,
Follow the American dream. Quit your job. Make internet videos of your own, and you can be a shining success that you can only be in this beautiful, beautiful, God-blessed country of the US of A.
and I would say to you, I'm currently following the Jackson Tucker dream, which is helping myself to get the Prowler my bosses promised me for free. So until that happens, I got a little unfinished business at Super Mega, so can't drop that one yet. Instead, I have seen fit to take on a little of extra help here at Drink Up. I have brought on a team to help me. An editor, artist, musician, writer. These people deserve pay. I'm not just paying them an exposure, which, let's be honest, I'm already getting paid an exposure from Super Mega. They give me peanuts over there.
I need some help from all of you.
What that looks like is $5 a month, or more if you can afford it, given to me on this Patreon page. And this wouldn't be a little Patreon video if I didn't tell you the bonuses that you all get by subscribing. Deleted scenes, bloopers, behind the scenes, extra discussion, maybe even picking future episodes of Drink Up. While this is a channel that is obviously very largely birthed from my favorite things, drinking, music, movies, games, I wanted to reflect the whole audience too. Without taking up too much more of your time, I just want to say thank you for just giving me this opportunity, and I hope that you'll consider donating. Have a good day, drink up, and on with the video. The Fast and the Furious, the 2001 movie that started it all, baby. One of the best pieces of media ever made to show off underground street racing, custom tuner cars, in East Los Angeles before it was filled and overrun with misspelled brunch restaurants. Then in 2003 it all came back. Too Fast, Too Furious, one of the best sequel parody names ever made. Truly the only downside I felt in that one as a sequel was the absence of our hero Vin Diesel, who, in his own words, thought that a sequel would taint the first movie. And it's a good thing to see that despite how many sequels we've gotten, the sanctity of the Fast and Furious franchise is still intact, untarnished to this day. And before I get sidetracked on my theories about how the pacifier was really a part of the Fast and Furious universe, let me just say this. These movies are a lot more enjoyable than I and a lot of other people give them credit for. Now, as much as I may wish this was a car channel at times, it's not. It's not. It's a cocktail channel. It's a channel about drinking. And making a drink based on this movie is not as easy as you might think. You know, drinking and driving, these two concepts really don't meld together, believe it or not. It's highly unlikely anything I make on this channel would be picked ever over a case of Dominic Toretto's favorite. Corona is as much a part of this franchise as bad acting and motion sickness. You can stick a lime in it if you want, but beyond that, it's pretty much perfect. You know, it's paradise in a bottle. So I'm gonna do like the lovely producers and executives at Universal of Los Angeles and make a bastardization of what this is into something unrecognizable. The Michelada is actually the fairly recent creation as far as drinking goes, dating back to the late 40s. Like many other modern cocktails, it owes a lot of its creation and spread to modern refrigeration. Now, one of the most common stories is that a man named Michael Esper at the Club Deportivo in San Luis Potosi, and I apologize for getting a lot of these names wrong, I'm not trying to do some, long bit about the poor pronunciations that Vin Diesel does of Spanish in the franchise. I'm trying my hardest here. Anyway, so Michael is said to have had a drink that was a beer with lime, salt, ice, and a straw, in a special cup called a cebada. The third and most likely answer to the Michelada's origin is the most simple. A chela is Latin American slang for a blonde, blue-eyed woman, and by extension, a beer. Helada means iced, so you get Michelada iced beer. Okay, for starters, this is a rim drink, so the first thing you're gonna wanna do is rim the cocktail glass. So get this here, we're gonna cut open a lime, hold on to it because we'll be using this soon after, but first things first, get some lime juice on there and get some Tajin around the rim. As a general rule of thumb for making rim drinks, you don't wanna get the salt or whatnot in the cocktail. Now I'm gonna add the juice of 1 lime, or if you pre-measure out, about 3/4 ounce. All right, with that done, it's time for the largest part of a Michelada. This is what separates the Michelada from the chelada, and that's tomato juice. What I am using and what many people will use is called Clamato juice, which is a kind of juice cocktail consisting of clam broth and tomato juice. You can do this just fine with tomato juice. However, just account for that it's gonna be a much sweeter drink if that's the case, so plan accordingly. Now I'm gonna do 4 ounces of Clamato juice here. Now for the part that's really about preference, and that is seasoning your cocktail, which is kind of a weird idea. But the Michelada is a beer cocktail flavored with a bunch of spices, seasonings, and what have you. So things I'm not using today that you might commonly see are soy sauce, onions, garlic. Really, a bunch of savory ingredients will work well here. So first things first, hot sauce. Really, I would typically go for something like a Tapatio or an El Yucateca here, more of a Mexican hot sauce. I am using Tabasco because it's the only hot sauce truly approved by the Fast and Furious franchise. I like my Michelada spicy, so I'm gonna do a good 3 to 4 dashes here. You can go way higher or way lower. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next up, my favorite thing to add is the Worcestershire sauce. I said that in one take. I'm not gonna try and say it again. Just be careful adding this stuff because it can very easily overpower your drink. I go for a quick little dash of it. Last but not least is the Maggi sauce. This stuff is weird. It adds a kind of meaty umami flavor that you can get from a few other things. I think soy sauce people will use sometimes instead of this interchangeably. Not that it's the same flavor, but kind of does the same job for your drink. So with this, I'm gonna go pretty light, maybe 1 to 2 dashes. And that right there is the end of our juice cocktail. I can add a little stir here. Not that it matters much because we're topping it off with a nice lager in a second. Now, to quote the late and great Dominic Toretto here, you can have any beer you want, as long as it's Corona. And there you have a classic Michelada, delicious, delicious drink. One of the best things I think you can make, especially for a nice hot summer day. For a nice hot summer day, you cannot beat this. Now, bottoms up. Oh. And that's a drink that I think really does do it all because it's sour, it's spicy, it's sweet, and there's like that weird really mixture of flavors you don't see from many cocktails. Even the Clamato juice brings a flavor you don't really get whenever you have a drink. There's like a brininess to it, and I think it's just perfect. But oh, if only I could be satisfied with perfection. No, no, no. Like the good old people making these movies, let's do more. Let's bastardize it. Let's add something on top of this that it didn't need. And I'm going to do something to top this off with a salted lime foam. Got my NOS right here. You might be saying, Jackson, are you doing some whippets? Easy, man. One vice at a time. You know, you already got alcohol on the mix. Who needs some of these little things here, huh? And I'd say to you, easy there. This is actually a very cool tool to have behind your bar. You can do rapid infusions or foams and just really play around with these. I am going to be making a kind of twist on Jeffrey Morgenthaler's Cadillac foam today for our Michelada. Cadillac foam being a ingredient he uses in his version of a Cadillac margarita, I'm going to be making a spicy kind of salted lime foam to top our drink with. So the first ingredient you will need is an egg. Additionally, if you are vegan, there are some substitutes such as aquafaba that I know work great for making foam. So 1 egg white. Let's get this in here safely. Ooh. Oh, what kind of bartender just wastes an egg yolk? The whole ingredient should be used. No waste. To the next ingredient, which is an orange liqueur. I highly suggest a Gran Marnier here. I think the sweetness of it works wonderfully with the spice that we're gonna add in a second. That being said, you could try a Cointreau or a Curacao. I liked both a lot. I just think that this is the better option here. So just 1 ounce of the Gran Marnier is all that you're gonna need, you know. Just a little bit here goes a long way. You're gonna need 2 ounces of lime juice in this now. Now for one of my favorite little tools behind the bar, as well as pranking my friends, I have the Firewater from Scrappy's Bitters. These are insanely spicy. Holy shit. These things, literally it's like burning your mouth, but when used in the appropriate quantity, they can be a beautiful addition to cocktails. Really, 2 dashes is gonna go a long, long way here. If you don't believe me, get a bottle of these and try them. They just add spice, but not like pure spice. It is like a peppery kind of spice, which I like. Like you're a high school jock on the back of the bus. Let's do some whippets. And it's at this time I should point out, both the companies that make these machines, as well as, I believe, the US government, states you should never put more than 1 charge to a vessel. That being said, many cocktail enthusiasts, many bartenders, many people will tell you that what 1 does, 2 can do better. And I'm not saying you should do that because, you know, this is me, I'm taking this risk. But I will say, I am doing 2 charges here. That being said, let's get the first charge in. Now you want to shake it really good between these. I think my favorite thing about buying this was that the only place in LA that sold these was smoke shops. And it would be like, we deliver until 4 a.m. And it's like, yeah, I need a whippet machine for my kitchen at 4 a.m. Thank you. Being very careful, we're going to dispense this foam onto our Michelada. Whew. That might be one of the prettiest ones that I've made. A little bit more Tajin. This is the DOMCHELADA, the Torretto Lada. We don't have a name yet. It's like your first time driving a nice 2-ton American muscle down the streets of Los Angeles. And holy shit, it's really spicy. The Firewater in that foam is such an experience. Like, it's so light and fluffy from the egg, and the Gran Marnier makes it so sweet, but there is like just this whole element of it that makes my entire tongue and throat on fire. It's just coated in spice, but it's like eating hot wings. We're just going to keep going back for more. And the sourness of the lime and the sweetness of everything, it plays together so, so beautifully. Wow, I mean, it's such a lovely drink. I don't think the Michelada should be improved, but this is a nice sidestep from the classic Michelada. The Michelada does not, and probably will never get the rep of a lot of, you know, high-end cocktails, classic cocktails, the way that, you know, some of the nicer cocktail bars nowadays might be doing things that are these true experience kind of orgies of so many flavors happening. But I think the Michelada has been doing that and will continue to do that. And you know what? I think the Michelada stands up to some of the best cocktails out there, especially when done super well. You know, I'm blessed in Los Angeles, being from Texas. You can try it anywhere. Thank you guys all so much for tuning in. I know Drink Up with Jackson is a bit of a ride. If you like what you see here, give it a check out over there, twitch.tv/JacksonATucker. I hope to see y'all again soon for the next Drink Up with Jackson. I'm gonna make another one of these and enjoy the open road. So have a good one.